Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Wallenstein back with Ultimate General Gettysburg. We left off finishing day one of the Battle of Gettysburg, holding the main line while reinforcements came up. And now we are entering day two and get to play day two of the campaign. Now, what's a little different from what I recall anyway from the original Sid Meier's game is that in between each day when you're playing along you get to plan a strategy for how you start the next day, and you get to choose, at least for day two, I haven't played day three yet, you get to choose three different strategies. Each I think are based on aggression. So this first one, for example, it shows you a picture of each one you choose. This one is defend the ridges north of Gettysburg at all costs. This is basically where we left off, kind of. We had Seminary. We were holding Seminary Ridge here. We had a lot of heat on, was this Oak Ridge, if I recall? I can't remember. I should know the name. I've known this battle for like the back of my hand, the history and play out of the battle. But this is basically the layout we had. And it gives you basically what's going to happen at the start of the map. We're going to have I can't read if that's 2nd or 3rd Corps from the Confederates moving in from the northeast, which is going to expose this flank here, which means we would need to defend Gettysburg. I don't think, yeah, that's a cavalry unit, so it actually won't be. We would have to move these guys forward to try and hold off the 2nd Corps as quickly as possible, as we would quickly brush through here and try and hold. The problem is we're playing against an AI that's tends to be on somewhat aggressive. We definitely saw that in day one, so I think this might be a little risky, but it could be worth it because it allows us to basically protect this town of Gettysburg, even though we don't get any kind of points or anything, just for historicity purposes. If that's even a word, I just might have made that up. But we should be protecting. We'd be protecting the town of Gettysburg. I almost lost my train of thought. Focus, Wallenstein. And we'd be protecting our main reinforcement route as well. The second one is withdraw to Seminary Ridge and reinforce Cemetery Hill. This is probably the route I want to go. This allows us, we're basically still holding Seminary Ridge, basically kind of holding the same position we had already. We were pulling back from, I'm going to call this Oak Ridge for the time being until we start playing again. This will allow us to kind of have this group maybe possibly fall back or have these guys come up and support in Gettysburg. Although I'm truthfully curious to see how combat works in the city. I know in the original game it was kind of just more for show. It really wasn't, I don't think it had too much of effect other than you had no cover at all, if I recall. So maybe we try that. Be interesting to see how that plays out if I move some units to reinforce our flank here and our front line. And our last one here is ignore Oak Hill and defend the southern ridges. I'm curious, that is Oak Hill, I guess. I call it Oak Ridge. I'm not sure if that is Oak Hill. I'm not sure why it means we are ignoring it. It looks like we're covering that. That's interesting. I don't know. I think each of these basically are risk related. The first option is always the riskiest. Second one is like kind of middle of the road. And the last one is the ultra-conservative and cautious one. And I think it also depends, too, strategy-wise, what AI you'd be playing against. So if we're playing against a cunning and determined AI, that might not be in our best, or excuse me, a very aggressive AI like determined. Cunning, I think, is less aggressive. If we were playing against a determined AI, it might not be beneficial. It might be very hard, in fact, for us to pull this strategy off, because they would be very aggressive. They'd be AI will be seeing this huge gap, this huge flank that's exposed, our rear flank and our right flank exposed, and will be sending this second corps in hot on their heels of the cavalry, which we would probably try and hold them off as long as possible. So I'm going to go with this option. This is actually, I think, historically the strategy that took place. They held on, I believe the First Corps held on to Seminary Ridge as long as possible until the rest of the Union Army came up, and then they kind of fell back down. The Union lines basically stretched from kind of around where they're showing it here and all the way down to Big and Little Round Top, which is kind of down where this briefing screen is. And actually we're going to hit this briefing screen. Yeah, it basically gives... Do we? Maybe that's Oak Hill. So maybe when it says ignore Oak Hill, maybe this is giving us an opportunity to flip this flank back out and take Oak Hill. But again, that's going to expose us very heavily until our reinforcements come up to the Second Corps here. So I think this is going to be our best bet. It's what I like to call passive-aggressive strategy. It's a little bit on the cautious side, but still is getting aggressive enough that we're still maintaining our Seminary Ridge. So I think we'll do with that. There's no point in wasting more time. Yeah. I'm not going to narrate these. I'll wait until we get to the next day synopsis. Maybe which one I choose I'll do. So, enough commenting. Let me just take a glimpse here. Yeah, that works for me. So maybe we'll read this anyway, even though you probably had a chance to read it already. Our men fought well this morning. We've delayed the rebel advance, and our main army is closer to Gettysburg. Howard is already approaching the southern outskirts and will soon join us. There's no point in wasting more lives defending the northern ridges and the town. Ewell's corps comes hard from the north, and the open ground between him and the town will allow a rapid rebel move into Gettysburg. Our exposed northern positions will be surrounded on 3 sides. We should change our strategy and redeploy to Seminary and Cemetery Ridges. There we can defend against the rebels from the high ground. When the entire Army of the Potomac arrives, we can counterattack and crush them once and for all. Unfortunately, the positions we held today at Gettysburg will be left to the rebels, but this is a necessary tactical move. Do you agree with the plan to redeploy our forces to the southern ridges, General? Yes, I do. So I think that's what we'll go with. We'll hit continue. Wise decision, General. It would be vain to defend the northern ridges. The rebels soon will attack from the west and north with Longstreet's and Ewell's corps. We need at least 4 corps to match their numbers. We now have 1st Corps and some cavalry units on the field, but 8th Corps will join us soon. And maybe 11th Corps. I might have said that wrong, General. Excuse me. Your mission is to defend Seminary and Cemetery Ridges. The capture of Culp's Hill should be a priority, since it is key to our defense from the north and the east. If holding the seminary proves too costly, you can withdraw to Cemetery Ridge, but that should be our last line of defense. We have to hold it at any cost. Good luck, General. So I'm going to hit this army detail. Actually, I'm going to see what this is talking about here. Alright, so this doesn't do... I know in the original game, it would kind of go on and like pick highlight certain units out of each one. It would have usually the guy that did the "No" for the Union, the voice of General Meade, and usually say, like, "These are veteran troops. This is your best brigade. There'll be some more infantry coming up." Kind of wish they did that, but then it would require a voice actor, and I don't know if Darth Mod necessarily is a voice, can do voice acting in his mods, if he has done any, or if he has anyone in his group that can do that. I certainly would be able to, after that wonderful performance, submit my skills and expertise in that affair. But we'll go ahead, we'll hit fight. Again, this is given the synopsis, so pretty much clustered here in Seminary Ridge. We kind of have protecting our flank here, our main group here, and I think the cavalry unit will be here. We must hold, I want to hold Seminary Ridge as long as possible. If we can hold, I'm not sure what that is, if that's Culp's Hill or not. I think this is Culp's Hill. But basically these three areas I want to focus on holding. So we will go ahead. There's skirmisher units. Okay, so we will move our skirmisher units north here to the river, because it looks like we already got movement coming down. And we'll move Biddle there to support. How are we looking here? We can maybe kind of have a rudimentary position here. That doesn't look very good. Is that Smith? Schimmelpfennig, we can maybe move Smith there for the time being, and Krasnowski maybe there. I'm expecting that reinforcements from the Confederates will be coming down here shortly. Alright, Biddle, I'm going to have your boys run because we're starting to get flanked. I don't want our flank for Baxter exposed. Let's get the vedettes in to support our skirmishers here. Maybe what we should do Gamble skirmishers up here to reinforce. Yeah, because it looks like he's trying to outflank us, which is good. He can have fun doing that. I'll move 11 Corps General over there. That is who? Howard, yes. How are we looking on our southern flank here? Alright, we just have a little artillery unit, which is fine. That can hold. You know what? Let's take these vedettes, see if we can take out that artillery unit. That might cause us a little bit of hassle. Here's our flank looking. Alright, they're kind of holding up. I wonder if they're waiting for their Second Corps reinforcements to show up. Maybe this is what the city does. It reduces the range. Because the cavalry looks like they should have a longer range than that. See if we can take out this Wallace artillery brigade here. Alright, so we're holding. I'm going to keep Bucktail's brigade there for now. As I say that, I see Archer's units moving down, so maybe I'll come quickly and reinforce. Have them run. Looks like they're going to try and punch a hole. Alright, General Buford, get out of there before you get killed. Don't want Sam Elliott dead. Now, I'm curious if it actually saved the unit casualties from the day before. It looks like it did, because I know archers there was a couple thousand, I think, and we whittled it down quite a bit. We have another skirmisher unit. Not really, we took our other one we had. Ah, here we go. We can move Gamble's skirmishers up this way and try and crush them a bit. No reinforcements yet, I don't see. They're kind of just chilling here, the Scales group, or Scalus. We ought to charge. I can't afford them punching a hole through that deep. Alright, we whittled them down. That should take care of that brigade. As long as they're not doing damage to my artillery there. They've routed. We're not going to continue. Their condition's pretty shot. I don't know if we can get condition back, but we definitely want to bridge that gap. Alright, let's move our skirmishers back down here to support our flank. What are these guys doing? Maybe we can advance a bit, these two units, before reinforcements start coming, and see if we can take down this group a little more. I see what they're doing. They're trying to flank us from behind there. So they're falling back. They probably see us moving our units here and don't want to get flanked. Our artillery is providing covering fire, or supporting fire. Good. So they're falling back. Let's move our skirmishers back up. Continue to protect our flank. We'll leave our vedettes in this. I keep saying, want to say city. Gettysburg was never a city, still isn't. But leave the vedettes in the town. It's really all quiet on the western front, and I mean, really just about a third of the way through the second day. I think they are waiting for his reinforcements. He's harassing me on my flanks. Trying to harass me on my flanks. To see if that will get me to flinch. It hasn't yet. Alright, that'll take care of that artillery group, hopefully. So that way we're not getting barraged if we need to fall back, we're not getting barraged from our left flank. I hear drums, but I don't see any movement. I don't hear any notifications either. Very quiet. A little too quiet, I think. This isn't unlike the AI. Unless the AI changed behavior? I wouldn't think so. Why are they waiting? I'm a little concerned now if it might be bugged. Good. Where is he coming from? Probably here, yes. Although it's really not needed right now. Scales is making a push. I definitely feel once that second core unit comes, we'll be having to make changes very quickly. Let's do a loop-de-loop here, or maybe we can just do, no, alt. We'll move Krasnowski's men up slightly to support. Our flank should be pretty covered there. Alright. And continue moving them up. I mean, we're almost halfway through the day, and the AI has not made really any attempt at all. Although I can see, I think there's more forces here. So he might be waiting for more reinforcements to come up and make one big gambit push towards the end like he did the first day. I can't imagine he's going to keep doing this, trying to flank me with just one unit. It's getting a little ridiculous, I think. Where's my other... Oh, there they are. Keep my skirmishers there. It really is so quiet, there's really not much to talk about. Let's bring Standards guys up to the center here. Because should we need to fall back at all, Standards group can fill in this gap here. We can pull Schimmelfenig. Yes, here we go. Here's the movement I've been waiting for. He's probably going to be coming either down York Pike. Here we go. Alright, here's where things get interesting. We need to move Devon's skirmishers up, and then Gamble's skirmishers up quickly. This is where we need to fall back. And try and hold. Yeah, we got the NBA generals here. We got O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson. I don't think there's a basketball player with the name Doles, but we'll pretend. Stephen Fry joins the battle. Yeah, see, now he's probably making a push. Yep. Just as I suspected, he's going to start moving in from the north and then probably move in from the south as well. We need to pull the vedettes back. need to pull you up in Cemetery Ridge or Cemetery Hill as quickly as possible. He's going to try and push for the flank. We might have to move Stannard maybe closer towards Culp's Hill. Wish there was a way I could get rid of the skirmishing ability to just pull back. I wish I could get it to change like I do with skirmishers in Total War, where I can get them to hold position. Are they running? Halt. I said halt! You Nancy boys. So that is 3rd Corps. So you're making a push. We might need to swing. Might need to swing back. I'm not sure if they're making a push for... I'm going to see if I can try and cut off these guys. I don't know if they're trying to cut us off or 2 groups together. Wait any longer. Yeah. Iron Brigade, get your rears in gear. You did a lot the first day. I'm going to need you to do more today. And Devon skirmishers are going to get massacred. Skirmishers are going to lose that battle. Iron Brigade, I'm going to have to ask you to run. Run to the Cemetery Hills. Run for your lives. Alright, since our flank looks secure, I'm going to see if I can move Schimmelfennig's group up, and then move Krenowski's group up to support. Alright, attack on our right seems imminent. This might be the time when we start pulling back. Alright, all units, and a little trick I forgot to mention in the first video: if you want to select groups of units at once, you draw a circle around them, and then just basically move them like so. I think we're going to pull back, because if we don't soon, we're going to get flanked from our behind with these groups here. We don't want that. Take this whole group. And we're gonna move. Ah, crap. Balls. This whole group. And no. I'm gonna take this whole group. Come on. And move them south. They're going to try to take, what's that, Seminary Ridge there. Oh boy, yes. Standard, you need to hold position there. We're gonna have to make do with what we can. Alright, Biddle, you need to move. Same with you. Fall back. Get our skirmisher units up. Just get this entire group to move back. Now, you. Actually, Cutler. I want you down here supporting Ames and Coster. All I want you to fall back, as well as you, Stewart and Buford, excuse me. That's fine. We can actually maybe turn around here. Maybe hold slightly. Oh dear. Alright. Fall back. I was completely neglecting my right flank. Where are they falling back to? Right behind the river? Yes. Oh. Alright, how are we looking? It's fine. Biddle can maybe move up again. Maybe we could have stayed. I maybe made a mistake here. I was maybe getting a little too anxious after seeing our flanks here. Actually, we look fine, I think. So what I want to do is actually... Who's marching here? Buford, Dilger, Ames, Von Gilsa. I need you. You and your men up here, Amscray. Battle delayed. I don't know what that means. We should be able to hold. And we can pull Von Gilsa's guys out because we'll have Cutler that'll fill in that gap nicely. I don't know what the delay means. That just means it's holding until something important happens. Alright, so maybe we'll fall back. Stephen, Cooper, and Caliph will plunk you right back there. Skirmishers, Cutler will plunk in right there. Vignettes, you can turn around. Vignettes. I keep saying vignettes. Battle ending in 1 minute. Okay. I guess it was waiting for the Confederates to actually attack here. Major victory again. Union withdraw at Seminary. We might have been able to hold. I didn't like the fact that I had basically my rear flank there exposed the entire time, especially when you had like Iverson and O'Neill's brigades here, and it looks like I see another brigade here putting pressure on us, as well as Daniels on our right flank in that area. So maybe it was a good call after all, especially since we were seeing more pressure to our very right flank on Culp's Hill. So I wanted to reinforce that area in case the worst were to happen. I didn't want to completely have my defenses dismantled. So we did a little not as well as our first day. We sustained a little, maybe not as much loss. Ours was about 2,000 the first day versus the Confederates almost 5,000. Confederates did a little bit better. They basically withheld the first half of the battle, or half of the day, before they could move into attack. So we still have a major victory. We held the points we needed to hold, held on to Seminary Ridge and Seminary Hill as long as possible. Unfortunately, could I have maybe withheld? I did withhold it. Could I have held it? Possibly. But that's the beauty of this game. You can always play it a second time and try and hold it. The nice thing about this is it's only a game. Real men's lives aren't at risk, so you don't have to take that in consideration. Whereas the real generals in this battle did. They had to take into consideration not only where their armies were strategically and tactically, but the lives of their men under their commands. And one must never forget that in times of war, that these are real people, real individuals that are fighting. That's my little wax philosophical moment. So we did pretty good. Smith's division looked like they got the #1 star, the best brigade out of the whole group. Brockenborough's brigade looks like, I don't know what that red means, if it means they got taken out. I think so, because Archer's brigade got wiped out, or maybe retired, surrendered and retired from the field of battle. So that's probably what that is. So good. We succeeded on day 2. Tomorrow is the big one, day 3. Was the most bloodiest battle, or bloodiest point in the battle. It's where most of the casualties occurred, was during this 3rd day, because this is when the Confederates tried pressing in from all sides. So we'll see if we can match that and pull out a Union victory. So again, I thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on July 3rd.